Okay, so this is our recording for reading number 6 focused on public debt and the structure of the Philippines, part 1. Okay, so currently right now, as per the research, the current debt of the Philippines is around 16.31 trillion pesos. Imagine with the same amount of money that we have right now in terms of debt. But let us first identify ano ba yung importansya na kung bakit kinakailangan mangutang ang isang bansa, bakit kinakailangang umutang ang isang bansa kahit naman na meron na tayong mga pondo coming from our taxes, kahit na meron mga budget allocation specific for a specific project. 'Di ba? Bakit kinakailangan pang mangutang ang Pilipinas, okay? Ang utang ng Pilipinas, I believe is as far as I am concerned, this was, back the Marcos era pa nag-start, Marcos Senior era, okay? So, let's start. For section 1, let's start with the public borrowing and the structure of the Philippines. Typically, it is normal for the country that in terms of, debt or para mapondohan ang mga proyekto ay kinakailangang aside sa budget na isinasatupad ng Kongreso, ay kinakailangang magkaroon ng specific public borrowing. Okay, but first let us identify. Public borrowing is the process by which government raises funds by promising to repay principal and interest in the future. Normal at saka importante po kasi pagdating sa gobyerno na nangungutang pagdating sa kanilang mga proyekto. Okay? Ang tendency po kasi niyan is when they forecast a specific amount for a project, the tendency of that forecasted amount is it could create a fluctuation. Kasi may tendency na it is because of inflation, it is because of the price of raw materials, the price of the commodities na nagbabago at nagfa-fluctuate. Okay? Now, government spending needs often arrive faster than revenue collection. Lalong-lalo na kapag let's say for example, there is a tendency that the project must be executed kaagad-agad. Sabihin na lang natin within the past months or it must be executed within 2 months. Okay, or 3 months. Syempre naman po pagdating sa pagre-release ng budget as we have discussed from our face-to-face classes, there is a tendency that when it comes to releasing the budget, it may cause some delay because at syempre at the same time, the national government is focused on redistributing it nationwide. Okay, so ang tendency niyan in order for them to start the project kaagad is they need to immediately borrow funds from a specific debtor. Okay? In the Philippine context, borrowing supports day-to-day budget needs, infrastructure, and crisis response while also shaping the country's debt profile and fiscal sustainability. Now, a good example of this was during the pandemic when the country was in shock of the impact of the COVID-19. Ang tendency niyan is there is no specific allocation for, I believe that is for the General Appropriations Act of 2020 na nakaspecify siya for immediate healthcare for the coronavirus. Kaya ang tendency niyan ay nagkaroon ng borrowing ang gobyerno or nangutang ang gobyerno, okay? That is an example, okay? So, the question here is that bakit ang gobyerno ay umuutang kaysa dagdagan ng buwis, okay? If the government has the power to tax, bakit hindi na lang nila ibuwis lahat? 'Di ba? Now, the problem here is that sa dami ng taxes na pinapataw ng gobyerno sa mga mamamayan, dadagdag pa ba natin 'to? 'Di ba? Idadagdag pa ba natin? Okay. Now, these are the reasons why. Una-una, the budget deficit imperative. Okay? A government incurs a fiscal deficit. Okay? Nagkukulang pagdating sa budget when its expenditures exceeds its revenue within a given fiscal period. Sir, necessary ba na lumalagpas sa budget ang expenditure ng gobyerno kung nakasaad po yan sa GAA? Most precisely, yes. Because there are certain katulad nga ng reason na sinabi natin kanina, okay, yung mga amounts na naka-declared kasi dun sa GAA, it is coming from basis, unang-una, coming from a basis of previous transactions, and at the same time, it is coming from expectations or assumptions only, given to which na dapat ini-include when we are creating a price on the appropriations na ini-include natin yung price within the inflation. 'Di ba? Dapat ini-include natin yung price of inflation. Kaya ang tendency, when the time comes that the project will be initiated, kinakailangan ng initiate ni congressman, kinakailangan ng initiate ng politiko, okay, upon distribution to the local community, may tendency na nagkukulang yung budget, 'di ba? Magkakaroon ng deficit pagdating doon sa budget, okay? Kaya this is for major projects kasi katulad ng infrastructure na naka-focus sa tulay, na naka-focus sa mga kalsada, na naka-focus sa mga public buildings, public roads, doon naman kasi nagkakaroon ng tendency ng deficit into budgets. Okay? Now, when the approved appropriations exceed projected revenues, a situation that has been structurally endemic in the Philippines, resulting into fiscal gap and must be financed through borrowing. Okay? Now, it is critical to distinguish among three related fiscal concepts that students frequently conflate. Unang-una, fiscal deficit. Okay? When we talk about fiscal deficit, this is the difference or yung pagkakaiba between the expenditure of the government and kung magkano ang kanyang kinikita all in all. Katulad nga na diniscuss natin from the previous term, aside from the income taxes or coming from the BIR, coming from the taxes, nandiyan din ang Bureau of Customs in supporting our community. 'Di ba? In terms of tariff, okay, import taxes, exportation taxes, nandiyan din ang mga government-owned and controlled corporation, 'di ba? Na malaki rin ang tinutulong sa pag-increase ng revenue ng bansa natin. Okay, nandiyan din yung mga fees, government fees na hindi naman sa pilitan, it is optional, 'di ba? Depending on the consumer or the people who will be availing these government services. Okay? The primary balance is the fiscal balance, excluding interest payments on existing debt. It is the more analytically useful measure of a government's current fiscal efforts, strip of legacy burden of the past borrowing. And syempre, dinedefine din natin na ang debt stock or debt stock is the cumulative outstanding balance of all government obligation. Pagkatapos ng lahat ng mga projects, magkano ang nauutang or magkano ang kabuuang utang ng gobyerno. Currently, as of today, April 8, 2026, the debt of the country is around 16.31 trillion according to the Department of Finance and at the same time with Bureau of Treasury. Okay? Now, pangalawa, ito yung sinasabi natin kanina. Nangungutang ang gobyerno, aside from sa nakulang ang budget, it is more of mas nakapokus ito for infrastructure financing. Okay? Ang logic kasi dyan is if we will be building a specific infrastructure for the betterment or for the use of the public, would it be better if we will be including in the General Appropriations Act na ang specific project na to ay ipo-portion by portion natin? Hindi naman yata magandang tignan nun na after 10 years or after 5 years dahil nga napakalaking pondo ang kinakailangang ialat dito is after 10 years of binabudget yan sa GAA, dun pa lang natin sisimulan yung proyekto. May tendency madedelay. Kaya ang ginagawa ng government is the government will be borrowing, okay, a certain amount of money that is payable for a useful or long-term obligation. Okay? Ang tendency kasi niyan is, ang reason nila, as stated here, okay, borrowing, by contrast, spreads the cost of the infrastructure across the period of its use. Hindi lang nakafocus yan sa current mamamayan or sa current situation ng bansa na kung sino man ang mga nagbabayad ng buwis ay sila lang ang makikinabang. Ang idea ng government dyan is we will be borrowing money for us to, let's say, execute the projects in advance at para magawa na rin yung proyekto. And since dahil yan ay long-term obligation, okay, parang ano lang yan parang installment basis pagdating sa pagpo-purchase natin ng mga iPhones, ng mga gadgets. But better if we will be paying it in installment para sa gayon hindi isang bagsakan na i-shoulder natin yung expenses na yon in terms of the projects or sa pag-purchase. Tapos, and at the same time, ang idea ng government dito is for those who are in future. Okay? Future generations that will be benefits or that will benefit from this said project. Yung mga hindi pa pinapanganak na future generations. Okay? Kasama din sila pagdating doon sa pag-share ng contributions. And at the same time, pagkapanganak nila, syempre, as usual, they will be benefiting from the said project as well. Okay? Ang hirap nga naman kasi para sa government na, okay, maglabas tayo 3 billion kagad. Okay? In cash or sabihin na lang 30 billion kagad in cash para doon sa pagpapagawa nitong kalsada, pagpapagawa nitong malaking infrastructure na to. Ganon din po ang concept ng previous 2 generations. Ayan, nakastate dyan. Future taxpayers who benefit from the highway also service the debt that paid for it. Okay? This is not merely a matter of fiscal convenience. It is a matter of intergenerational equity. Coming from the discussion of taxes, mas pinapahalagahan natin na according to the Constitution na dapat ang taxation, it is uniform and in equity. Meaning to say, okay, kung magkano man ang income mo, di ba, it is up to you. Okay? Kung halimbawa ganito ang income mo, ganitong amount ang babayaran mong buwis. Hindi naman natin pwedeng ipatong na ganito lang ang income mo tapos napakataas na buwis. Okay? And then at the same time, when it comes to paying the taxes, okay, it must be intergenerational equity. Okay? The same context that is also happening coming from the 2 administration under the Build by the previous administration of former President Rodrigo Duterte and its successor. Tinuloy ito ng Marcos Jr. administration coming from the Build Better More project. The government has explicitly justified large infrastructure expenditures. Example na lang dyan is yung ginagawa nilang subway system that has started or that was planned during the administration of, correct me if I'm wrong, the President Rodrigo Duterte and in continuance tinuloy ng Marcos administration. Okay? Moving forward, eto, crisis response, isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit nangungutang ang gobyerno coming from our example kanina. As stated here, okay, as stated here, the COVID-19 pandemic provided the most dramatic demonstration of crisis response, borrowing in recent in the Philippine history. Okay? Coming from 2020, the national government's fiscal deficit surged to 1.37 trillion, okay? From a deficit of only 660 billion in 2019. Hindi naman natin ina-expect kasi, okay, hindi rin natin ina-expect na magkakaroon tayo ng global pandemic. Ang isipin lang natin, ang iniisip lang namin noon or natin noon is magtatapos ang 2019, 'di ba? Bagong dekada na papasok para sa atin tapos biglang boom, COVID-19, 'di ba? And then the government was not prepared for it. And then syempre, coming from December nangyari 'yon, 'di ba? Ang General Appropriations Act was signed by the former President Duterte on the first week of January, okay, or December before the year end. That is why, syempre, yung pagpo-forecast kasi ng budget doon, months before the signing of the GAA pa eh. Kaya ang nangyari, no one expected that it will fall down to having said na kinakailangan ng malakihang pondo in response to the COVID-19. Okay? This was not a failure of fiscal discipline in the conventional sense. It is a deliberate deployment of sovereign borrowing capacity to finance emergency health expenditure. Ginamit po yung pondo na yan, kaya tumaas po ang fiscal deficit ng bansa natin ng 2020 dahil sa pangalawang or dalawang programa ng gobyerno. Ito yung Bayanihan as One Act 1 at saka yung Bayanihan as One Act 2. Ito yung SAP na tinatawag natin or yung Special Amelioration Program na binigay sa mga mamamayan during the pandemic. Lalong-lalo na yung mga nawalan ng trabaho, yung walang income. We were part of this specific program by the government. And now, meron sinusulong si Senator Lauren Legarda na bill sa Senado na Bayanihan as 1 Act 3. Okay, the conservation for this is in terms of the value added tax for specific luxury goods. I don't have any specific details, but as far as I have read yesterday, this is focused on luxurious goods na dapat mas taasan ang value added tax na nakafocus doon. Okay? The crisis response of function of borrowing reflects what economists called automatic stabilizers. When we call about automatic stabilizers, the mechanism through fiscal deficit naturally expand during recession as expected. Diba? Siyempre nagkakaroon tayo ng problema. Nagkakaroon ng problema ang bansa na hindi naman inaasahan. Diba? Na hindi naman natin akalain na after few months of making the budget, merong specific problem na naka-indicate dito. And that is why we learn from the mistakes, we learn from the history. Ever since the pandemic has happened, di ba? Every year, when it comes to the annual investment planning, okay, nagkakaroon ng pagpupulong ng budget kung ano ang kinakailangan ng bawat ahensya ng gobyerno, ini-include na, okay, when it comes to crisis response. And currently, right now, we are ongoing crisis in terms of oil, di ba? The prices of oil, that is why there are some speculations, maraming haka-haka, maraming bumubulong-bulong na dapat, 'di ba, as former Senator Robin Padilla, dapat i-regulate na ng gobyerno ang oil, 'di ba? Marami pang usapin 'yan in terms of having said a stable and much more useful improvements in the economy. Okay, marami pa yan. Okay? And last is the political economy of borrowing versus taxing. There is a fourth reason why government borrow. Okay? Tax resistant and the political cost of revenue mobilization. Taxation is visible. Naramdaman natin yan through value added tax. Immediate and politically costly. Okay? Dahil nga naman pagkokolekta ng buwis ay it would take some time and it takes a process, okay? Borrowing defers the fiscal adjustment to future period, okay? Diffuses the cost across future taxpayers and therefore political less contentious in the short run. Mahabang proseso kasi ang pangongolekta ng buwis, napakatagal. Ang daming pinagdadaan ng proseso. Okay, but when the country is in favor or is in need of immediate funds, okay, they are much more resisting to borrowing money. Okay, it will take up into weeks at most. This is in coordination naman with the executive department of the country together with the DBCC. Okay, nandiyan naman sila para gabayan ang desisyon ng gobyerno. Okay. Now, let's move to section 2. Internal classification of public debt. Dito natin makikita kung how does the government insist on borrowing money. Okay? Kung mga paanong paraan sila humihiram ng pera. Okay? Unang-una by source. Merong dalawang source ang gobyerno sa paghihiram ng pera. Andiyan ang domestic debt and external debt. Coming from domestic debt, when we talk about domestic debt, they are borrowing money within the local vicinity of the country, which is the Philippines. Okay, they are borrowing through other government agencies such as GSIS. Okay, yung mga insurance company, SSS. Okay, andyan din yung mga bangko. Diba? The government is borrowing money domestically. Okay, and therefore, since the borrowing of money is happening within the country itself, the current denomination of that certain borrowing is in Philippine peso. Meaning to say, wala ng obligasyon na magkaroon ng fluctuation in terms of the foreign exchange. Okay? Kasi ang tendency niya, katulad ng nangyari ngayon, the current situation, the dollar is around 60 pesos. Imagine if the government is domestically borrowing money but in the form of other currencies, there might a tendency that there will be fluctuations in the foreign exchange, and it might end up wherein na the Philippine peso will be deferred in value. Okay? Okay? And then the risk that large government borrowing from domestic financial markets will absorb loanable funds. So that is focused on domestic debt or domestic borrowing. Siyempre, kung meron domestic, meron ding mga external debt. Okay? When we talk about external debt, dito humihiram ang pera. Dito humihiram ng pera ang bansa natin to other foreign, okay, creditors. Okay? Andyan yung foreign governments, multilateral institutions, katulad ng World Bank, Asian Development Bank, okay, Asian Infrastructure Bank, tsaka yung international capital markets. Okay? Now, external debt is typically denominated in foreign currencies. Ang pinakamalakas na currency when it comes to external debt ay US dollars. Okay? This creates foreign exchange exposure when the peso depreciates against these currencies. Okay? The peso equivalent of external debt service payments arises. Yan. Mas kalimitan dyan tayo humihiram sa World Bank, sa IMF, International Monetary Fund. Kalimitan dyan naman humihiram ng pera ang bansa natin. Okay? So, another classification of public debt is by maturity. Nandyan ang short term, medium term, at saka long term debt. Pag sinabi nating short term debt, ang pinaka-primary instrument natin dito ay treasury bills na hindi lalagpas ng 1 taon ang kanyang what do you call this? Expiration. Kalimitan ginagamit yan ng gobyerno in terms of they are in much need of money. So, ang gagawin ng gobyerno is they will be issuing treasury bills na through the form of government banks na it will attract investors. Okay? Mas kinakailangan lang ng government kasi when it comes to issuing treasury bills is for their cash flow management. Okay? Bridging temporary mismatches, meron lang tayong kailangang habulin. Okay? So, ang gagawin ng gobyerno, mag-i-issue ng treasury bills, mag-a-attract ng mga local investors, and then ang kaibahan nito ay ang maturity lamang ay sa loob lamang ng 1 taon. So when it comes to treasury bills, the risk involved is very much low. Yun nga lang, the return for treasury bills is a much more lower than compared on other investments. Okay? Aside from treasury bills or short-term debt, nandyan din yung medium-term debt na nag-i-span within 2 to 10 years in time. Hindi naman treasury bills ang ginagamit ng gobyerno dito. They are issuing treasury bonds. Okay? Constitute the medium term domestic debt. These instruments carry fixed or floating interest rates, and rates are used to finance capital expenditures with a medium-term payback horizon. At saka, syempre, ang pinakamatagal na inuutang ng gobyerno, which is focused on long-term debt. Okay, it carries 25 to 40 years with maturity. Okay, interest rates and grace period. Pagdating naman sa long-term debt, ito ay nakafocus sa infrastructure. Okay, at saka yung mga foreign investment ng bansa natin. Okay, by instrument, yun yung sinabi natin kanina, treasury bills at saka treasury bonds. Okay. Let's move forward with the operational mechanics and the process flow. How public borrowing works in the Philippines. Unang-una, magkakaroon ng coordination ng DBCC. Okay, magkakaroon ng planning. Whether or not, as stated here, that the projects of microeconomic parameters will be identified. Nandiyan yung GDP. Okay, ina-identify yan ng DBCC. Okay, and inflation rate, as of today, the current inflation rate of the country, April 8, 2026, is around 4.1%. Exchange rate, yan yung kinokonsidera ng DBCC din. Okay, to determine if we are in fiscal deficit for the coming year. The deficit ceiling is a critical input into borrowing program. Okay. Step 2, the annual borrowing program. Based on the approved deficit ceiling and the maturity schedule of existing debt, okay, dinedetermine ngayon ng Bureau of Treasury ang annual borrowing program. Pagdating to sa annual borrowing program, dito lang nakasakop. Okay, ito lang ang sinasakop ng panghihiram ng pera ng gobyerno. Unang-una, yung total borrowing volume, split domestic at saka external reference, may maturity mix, yung instrument mix at saka timing and sequencing of issuances. Okay? And then step 3, for domestic issuances naman, unang-una, syempre hindi naman tayo pwedeng just like in recruitment, kung mayroon tayong kinakailangan na empleyado, hindi naman natin ilalabas kaagad yan, mag-internal hire muna tayo. Ganun din po sa gobyerno. When it comes to in needs of funds, they will be issuing a domestic announcement, okay? Meaning they will be issuing an auction system wherein it is open for the public to buy treasury bills and treasury bonds, okay? So that investors would see to buy, okay, in the government through support for their cash flow management, okay? The Bureau of Treasury evaluates all the bids from lowest to highest yield and accept the bids to the pre-announced offer amount starting from the most favorable, just like in an auction system. Okay, kung sino ang pinakamataas, sila ang mananalo. Okay? And syempre, after domestic issuances, okay, the government will proceed with the external borrowing. Okay? The first track is the official development assistance. Okay? Wherein tayo ay pumapasok na through various countries negotiations. Okay? All the loans are negotiated na ng National Economic and Development Authority or NEDA. Okay, kaagapay ang Bureau of Finance. Okay, dito na tayo pumapasok sa external borrowing. Okay, critically, according to the Republic Act 4860, the govern that contracting of foreign loans by national government according to the 1987 Constitution, loans contracted by the national government must comply, okay, with the approval of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Monetary Board's assessment. Siyempre, tinitignan ng balance of payment and at the same time, hanggang saan ang kayang utangin ng bansa. Okay? Then, debt service management. Okay, kung ilang years na kayang bayaran ng gobyerno ng Pilipinas ang kanilang mga utang. Okay? So, these are hindi na natin iisa-isahin 'to, hindi na natin i-explain. You were given an idea since elementary on what is the importance of these agencies. Bureau of Treasury, Department of Finance, yung NEDA, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, tsaka kung saan umuutang ang bansa natin through major creditors or major creditors. Asian Development Banks, ayan, yung World Bank, yung JICA or Japan International Cooperation Agency, at saka nandiyan din yung China Export-Import Bank and China Development Bank. So this will be the end of the first part for the public borrowing. Structure lang naman siya para makita lang natin kung anong idea natin. Okay, kung anong idea ninyo when it comes to public borrowing. Okay? Again, coming from our discussion on personal finance, hindi masamang umutang. Basta kayang bayaran, okay? At kung meron naman or kung uutang man, mini-make sure dapat natin na ito ay may kakalagyan at ito ay may paggagamitan. Okay? Thank you and we will be proceeding with lecture 2 or part 2 later on.